All right, we are going to be starting our multiplying fractions. So I have your notes that are number 49. And I am going to be multiplying whole numbers by fractions. This will go with your lesson that you are working on today. So we're going to glue this on. We'll do some practice problems on the side, and then you can go on to your online textbook and work on your practice problems. Okay, so this kind of ripped when I pulled it off last. There we go. Okay. So multiplying for whole numbers by fractions. So when I multiply a whole number by a fraction with a whole number first, it means something different than if I had the fraction first and then the whole number. So this is very important for you to know the difference between the two. Okay, so I'm going to write this over here on the side. If the whole number is first, it means you have a certain number of that fraction. Of those fraction pieces. For example, if I have 6 times 3/4, this means I have 6 pieces of 3/4. So if I want to say I have 3 pieces of ribbon that are 3/4, or 6 pieces of ribbon that are 3/4 of an inch long, how much do I have total? This is how you would set up the problem. Now, how do I solve it? The first thing we want to do is we want to change the whole number to a fraction. Now, if I add a 1 underneath a whole number, it is still the same thing, but then we can line up the numerators and the denominators. 5/1 is the same as 5, okay? I'm going to put up here, both of your products need to be in fraction form, okay? Not both products, it's both factors. Product is your answer. That is a typo. Both factors need to be in fraction form. So then I'm going to multiply my numerators and I'm going to multiply my denominators. Now that is a difference between our adding and subtracting fractions. When we added and subtracted fractions, we had to only do the numerators. In multiplication, there are no common denominators. All you do is multiply across. So I would say 5/4. Okay. I know I need to simplify this because this is an improper fraction. So I would say this would be this would be 1 1/4 would be my answer. Now, how would I show that with a model? Here's a model on the bottom. I'm going to make these 1/4 pieces. Okay. And I'm actually going to color with my pencil 3/4. So there's one group of 3/4. That's my first group. And I'm looking for 5 groups. Remember, 5 groups of 1/4. Not 3/4, 1/4. So we're going to do this. This would be 1. This is 2. This would be my 3rd one, my 4th one, and my 5th one. Okay? Now the only thing is all of them are in separate pieces, right? So let's put them together to be 1/4. 1/4. So we're going to do this. This would be 1. This is 2. This would be my 3rd one, my 4th one, and my 5th one. Okay? Now the only thing is all of them are in separate pieces, right? So let's put them together to be 1/4. 1/4. So let's put them together to be I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, which would be 5/4, 5 pieces of fourths, which is 1 whole and 1/4. So that's how you would show with a model. And you come up with the same answer as I did up here. Let's do another one. Okay. 3 times 2/5. So I usually just do that. Or you could rewrite it. I'm going to multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay. 6, this would be 1 and 1/5. Now, if the fraction is less than 1, okay, the whole number will get smaller. If the fraction is greater than 1, the whole number increases. Okay? So if you look here, my fraction is, or over here, my fraction is 2/5, that's less than 1. So 1 and 1/5 is smaller than 3. If this was a mixed number or an improper fraction, then this number here would be bigger than what we started with, because you're multiplying it by more than 1. So if we multiply it by 1, it would end up with 3. If I multiply with something more than 1, it's going to be more than 3. In your textbook, this is going to be page 335. And I am going to do 8, 9, and 10. Okay. This is number 8. So number 8 says 35 times 2/5. So the first thing I want to do is put a 1 under, and I'm going to multiply across. 35 times 2 is 70 over 5. Now, I know that that is a improper fraction, so I'm going to change this into a mixed number. And my answer is 14. 14 is your whole number. This would mean that I have 35 pieces of 2/5. 35 2/5 pieces. My next one, number 9. Now, obviously, if it's a whole number, you don't have to simplify. So that's why I didn't even look to see if I had to simplify. 7 times 5/12. Okay, I'm going to rewrite 7 over 1 times 5 over 12. 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 12 is 12. So I'm going to go over here. And I am going to do 12 goes into 35 2 times, which is 24. And I have 11 left over. So my answer would be 2 and 11/12. That is in simplest form, because if I go through my questions, none of them have anything in common. Another clue is if I have 11/12 or 7/8 or 3/4 or 1/2, if the numerator is 1 less than the denominator, it's already simplified. Now my last one is 10. I'm going to do 9 times 2/3. Which would be 18 over 3. 3 goes in 18 6 times, so my answer would be 6. So that is how you multiply a whole number by a fraction. And when you multiply a whole number by a fraction, doing the whole number first, that means you have a certain number of those fraction pieces, like 6 of 3/4 pieces.